39 days out from Ironman Hamburg, not weeks, days. We're into our last big push. We're in the new gaff, probably a little bit of a different background from where we were at last time. So me and Beth have now been in the house for, what date are we on now? I think it's been about 6 or 7 weeks. And we're in a new location, loving the house, loving our home. Currently nearly getting there in terms of finishing the furnishing for the house. So just waiting on a couple more deliveries. Last week was the first week back after a recovery week of training, where we logged 15 hours of training. Previously I did peak up at 16 before the recovery week. So last week, the 15-hour week, in terms of the breakdown for that. So we did 266K on the bike, roughly 8 hours and 36 minutes. Majority of the volume going towards the bike. 2 pretty tough sessions during the week, a 5-hour ride on Sunday. Running wise, 50K over 4 hours and 6 minutes. The long run coming in around 23K last week. And swimming wise, 6K in the pool, just over 2 hours, 2 hours and 5 minutes. So this week, volume has increased yet again. And just having a look over the training peaks now with what Alex has sent me. So duration for the week, it's looking like we're gonna come in roughly around 16.5 hours of training, with the bike closing in on 10 hours for this week. Running wise, we're looking at close to about 4.5 hours, with the long run being 2 hours with some Ironman pace built into that. Swimming wise, we're going to be coming in at 7 kilometers. So that is my biggest week of training so far. In terms of the body and how it's feeling, the body's feeling pretty good, touch wood. I said this before, but I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that I turn up at the start line and I'm in the best shape possible. No niggles, body's feeling fresh, and I'm being smart in terms of I'm doing my stretching, I'm doing my mobility, I'm taking my recovery just as, making that an importance just as my training. Super important is that, because you know what, you can only train as hard as what you can recover from. And one thing that I've learned about my body, and I've learned so much in this Ironman prep so far, I'll be straight with you, it's completely changed my life in terms of what I've learned about myself in terms of resilience, consistency, what your body can tolerate back to back. When I first started Ironman 70.3 training, so half distance Ironman training before I went into this build for the full distance, you know what, my body felt pretty shot to begin with, going from just lifting weights for all those years. And I would never ever, believe that I would be able to do some of these sessions back to back, go out there, hit a 2-hour long run with some good intensity into a 5-hour bike ride, double sessions, going to the pool, doing, 3+K into a really, really hard bike session. My body's, definitely a lot more robust, but there's more work to be done. I am not where I need to be right now. I'm feeling really good. This is definitely the best shape that I've been in so far, but we've got 5 weeks to keep getting better and better. And I want to make sure that I keep my head down, I keep ticking off the sessions, being consistent. And what else is in my control, aside from my effort with my training, my consistency and all the other stuff, is body composition. So I weighed myself this morning and I am 74.9 kilos. So I'm gonna pull off 3 kilos for Ironman Hamburg. And I've got to be really, really careful with what I do when I'm doing this now. Traditionally before, when I was just hitting weights, I'd mainly go linear calories, Monday through to Sunday, with some steady state cardio, hitting my steps. Now it's a little bit different. I've got certain days where I am burning a significant amount of calories day to day, where I'm doing a double day. Like today, I'm gonna go to the pool, I'm gonna do 4K worth of swimming, and then I've got a really, really hard bike session, 2.5 hours, that's a big gear session. I'm gonna burn a lot of calories in that session. It's got some Ironman intensity built into it as well. On days like that, I can't be, going there, being around 2,000, 2,500 calories. So what I'm having to do at the moment is I'm having to implement higher days, medium days, and then my recovery day calories. So at the moment, I'm now testing with my higher days being close to 4,000 calories, my medium days of training being closer to 3,000, and then my rest days, which I'm generally getting one rest day at the moment a week, being a Monday after a big weekend of training, being around 2,400. And this week so far, I've already started to lose some weight. Now, if I go too fast with that, I could pay the price with regards to performance. So yeah, I might come into the event and be a little bit leaner, but it may hurt my performance. So I've got to be really, really careful of what I'm doing when I'm doing this, and I'm making sure that I'm fueled up for the sessions and I'm not depleted, because that, can create some other problems. But equally, generally, there is, a fine sort of line. And if you're carrying, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape at the moment, but any excess body fat that I do carry means I'm going to be working a little bit harder, especially during the marathon at the end of the Ironman. So that's going to be the goal. I'm going to pull off roughly about 3 kilos, nice and steady, going into the event, while still making sure that I'm fueling for performance. I'm getting adequate amounts of carbohydrates in around there. And in terms of each discipline and how that's going, my swimming feels the strongest that it's been at so far. Volume definitely helping with that. And obviously, the specific sessions that Alex has set for me. Biking, exactly the same. We're obviously getting out on the road now too. That was pretty interesting, just getting back out. Obviously around here, there's a few more hills, but the handling side of things is really, really important. Making sure that when you're spending a lot of time on the turbo trainer, which is fantastic, the race is outside. So there's a certain amount of handling that needs to go into that. And with the weather being a bit better now, we're getting out and we're training out a little bit more outside. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We are 39 days out from Ironman Hamburg. Things are starting to ramp up again. Let's rock and roll.